Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is McPato and this is McPato PC. Today I'll be bringing you guys a product review of the Corsair 400C, which is a mid-tower. So we're going to get into that. Before I start that though, just to let you guys know, I was on holidays for the past 2 weeks. Just got back yesterday. While I was gone, I picked up a couple of things here behind me. The Witcher 3 and Darkwing Duck figurines there. I got myself a mascot in the form of that yellow rubber ducky there, and I got myself the cool poster behind me there. And my wife got me a couple of shirts. So overall, a good holiday. While I was away, I had an opportunity to get some feedback on my videos. So I'm going to be addressing the elephant in the room, and that is that some of my videos so far have been a little bit monotone. My tone's been a little bit sort of boring. I don't realize it when I'm filming, but that is how it comes across. So I'm going to try to pick that up, guys. I'm going to try to be more engaging and more fun, and try to break that habit. I do take what I do seriously, and I want you guys to be able to believe in and respect the content that I provide. But I want to do that in a fun and educational way. So I apologize that the first couple videos there were a little bit on the boring side, a little bit long-winded too. So it's my goal to condense the content. Try to keep things, around 10 minutes or less, with the exception of this 2-minute introduction here. So, before I proceed there, I also want to thank everyone who's taken time to watch my videos. So far, it's going really well. I've got just under 2,000 views already, most of that coming from my FreeSync NVIDIA video. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. And I mean, honestly, I didn't think this would be anywhere near as successful as it has been. So thank you to everyone. It's really encouraged me to bring you guys more quality videos and to put the work into it. I don't want to rush products out just to get something out there, but uh, that's sometimes the case, or has been in some of my previous videos. So going forward, the one every 2 weeks, I'm going to try to stick to that as far as video releases. But it is possible that at times it will go a little bit longer than 2 weeks. I picked up a couple of things like a tripod. I've picked up a watt meter and a couple of other items. So, for example, I'm going to be doing sort of a first for myself. I'm going to bring you guys a video where I will explore the benefits of overclocking your CPU and your GPU. So separately, first I'll do the overclock on the CPU, then we'll overclock the GPU, and we'll see how much more wattage you use, how much performance you gain, and what kind of applications you're going to gain more in, or some cases you might not gain anything. So that's going to take a lot of work on my end. I've never done anything like that before, so that might take me a couple extra weeks. But I'll try to bring you something in between. So that's one thing I'm working on. I'll do a video in the not too distant future also on how to upgrade um, your hard drive in your PS4, the original one, but it would apply also to the Slim and the Pro. I just don't have one of those, so I'll be using the original. And a couple other product reviews, but I've got a few really good ideas. They're just going to take some time. So quality stuff's coming. Just stay tuned for that. Without further ado, though, let's get into the review of the Corsair 400C. Alright, so we'll start with with an introduction, and then I'll give you my thoughts and review. Hello again, YouTube. Welcome back to my review of the Corsair 400C, which is, of course, this guy right here. I did use this case as my personal computer for just over a year. Recently I changed into the NZXT S340 Elite, a decision that I in some ways have come to regret. But we'll get to that at the end of this review. Starting out, this case here is a little bit older now. It came out originally in the first quarter of 2016, and since then has been a solid performer and selling, to my understanding, quite well. Corsair is a reputable company that offers quality products, and this is no exception. Current retail for this case is between $124 and $155 Canadian, or $95 to $110 in the US. The Corsair 400C comes with the, of course, the case in the box. Also included are two fans. They are Corsair AF 140mm and 120mm. The 140 is located in the front, and the 120 is in the back, set up as an exhaust. And they are quality fans. Currently I do not have the AF 140 in the front. I was using a liquid cooler in this particular build, and I did remove it and repurpose that fan, so I no longer have it in the front. But it is set up as an intake fan from Corsair, so keep that in mind. As far as airflow, it is really good in this case. I had really great temperatures. In fact, comparing it to the NZXT S340 Elite, my temperatures ran 5 to 7 degrees cooler for the CPU and for the GPU. So that, of course, would be thanks to the design here. You have uninhibited airflow on each side of the case, and you have, as I will show you in a few minutes here, a large filter which allows full air to come in from the front. There's no restrictions at all. So that's a great design on the part of Corsair. This being a mid-tower, of course, supports up to 7 PCI expansion slots in the back here. As well, you've got your standard I/O area here with no shield, as there's no motherboard installed. And that will of course be provided by your motherboard manufacturer. It's worth noting that on the bottom, the feet are rubberized, and that provides good grip, keeps your case sturdy on any surface, and keeps it from making noise or moving. Also rubberized are the areas in the power supply housing. So there's 4 little pieces of rubber that your power supply sits on. That again keeps it stable and avoids the rattling or moving around that you may encounter with some other cases. Perhaps one of the more striking features is this full acrylic panel on the side here, which is easy to open and access via that handle. Once opened, you can also remove it very easily just by lifting up on it. So we'll take it off right now. See, very easy to remove. In terms of quality, the handle here is a quality handle. Feels sturdy, and the panel itself slightly tinted, but offers good visibility inside the case. It is worth noting that the acrylic can be scratched fairly easily with, keys or other hard items. So just keep that in mind and avoid rubbing, keys, screwdrivers, knives, forks, anything like that on the acrylic. It will scratch fairly easily. So moving inside, we have here, of course, the shroud, which helps conceal the power supply, which is in the back, and there's a hard drive cage here where my hand is. I will remove the back panel at this time, just to give you guys a bit more visibility inside the case. Okay, so here you have captive screws on this panel, which is a nice feature that should be standard, but unfortunately is not with many manufacturers even today. So as I'm speaking, I'm going to be removing a few thumb screws from the back. Again, everything with this case is thumb screw accessible, so no tools are needed for the removal of any components, including the PCI slots in the back. This particular case supports up to two 3.5-inch drives in the hard drive caddy down below, and up to three 2.5-inch drives on the back of the motherboard tray. I'll show you guys that in just a moment here. You'll also note the quality rubber grommets here, here, and here. Something again which should be standard, but is not, unfortunately, with some manufacturers. So I think I'm on my last screw here, and then we'll move ahead. Alright, so we'll start with this front part of the shroud. It just comes out like this. You'll note the cable access hole here, which I will touch on again in a little bit. And there it is also. So these guys, they line up like this once it's inside, and that's how you get your cables through to your GPU. I will say that it's a little bit far to the side. Ideally, it would have been more over here. So what ends up happening is your cables will come out and have to go at an angle to reach the GPU, unless you have a really, really short GPU. And that can be slightly a negative in terms of aesthetics if your look is not as clean as you would like. So this little caddy comes out. Again, I took out two screws that were here and here. Very easy to remove. You just push in on these tabs and the caddy comes right out. There it is. Easy to install your hard drive. You just put it in, spread the sides apart. These little pre-attached pins fit right in the screw holes, and your drive is secure. The caddy is metallic. These trays are made of plastic, but overall it does feel very solid. I'd like to comment at this time that inside the case there's no sharp edges anywhere. All the metal edges are smooth and very well machined. Okay, so as you can see here, once that area is open, it is quite spacious. I'll take the front off now as well. Okay, so that's just a panel. Again, the ventilation on the side, and here is your plastic on the inside, but metal on the outside. Quality, a bit of weight to it, feels good. As a whole, this case weighs 8.2 kilograms, and to me that speaks to the quality of the manufacturing. Here on the front you have a magnetized dust filter, easy to remove. Quality filter. This is a mesh similar to a screen door, so very, very soft mesh, very fine, blocks a lot of dust. As far as cleaning, it was easy for me to clean with water or compressed air. No issues there. So as you can see on the front here, you have quite a bit of support for fans and cooling. Alright guys, so on the front here, as you can see, you can accommodate rads up to 360 millimeters. I myself had a 280 millimeter Corsair 110 E-ATX cooler. It fit no problem, and there would have been room to use it in a push-pull configuration, no problem. While a push-pull configuration can be used, it is worth noting that if your video card is too long, you might have an issue. Speaking of video cards, this case supports video cards up to 370 millimeters in length or 14.5 inches. So pretty much anything on the market would fit no problem in this case. If you are using a rad and would like to use it on the top, up to a 240 millimeter rad can be used depending on the rad and the thickness. You can use that on the top. 280 millimeter rads unfortunately cannot be used up top. Up top you'll again find a magnetized dust filter, which is quality again. And speaking of filters, you'll find one more underneath the power supply. So this is similar material to that front dust filter. This one is not magnetic, but it slides in and is secure once in place. Continuing on with cooling and fan support. On the back here you have support for up to 120 millimeter radiator or 120 millimeter fan. On the front you can have two 140 millimeter fans or three 120 millimeter fans. So generous fan support up front. The top, either two 140s or two 120s will fit no problem. I had two 140 millimeter Be Quiet fans on the top, and while they were really close to the motherboard, I was okay. On the back here, you'll find the three 2.5 inch drive caddies here. There's a little spring in the bottom, and you'll see this lever. So when you push your drive in, it gets far enough, it pushes the lever over, and then it clicks in and keeps your drive secure in the caddy. That is actually a really nice feature and a convenient place to store your drives. In terms of cable management options, Corsair includes tie-down points in various locations on the back of the panel. I did find that as I was using two hard drives, one SSD, I have LED RGB strip in my case. I was using a lot of cables from the power supply, and I did find cable management was a little bit challenging at times. This is an area that I think Corsair could improve, but I'll touch on that a little bit more later. Finally, turning our attention to the front panel, you will find a power switch, two audio connectors, one for your microphone and one for your headphones, two USB 3.0 ports, and a reset button on the far end there. Okay everyone, so I hope you enjoyed my coverage and overview of the Corsair 400C. At this time I'd like to go over a couple of important information items I neglected in my video, starting out with some measurements. So the case itself measures 425 millimeters in length, 215 millimeters in height in width, and 464 millimeters in height. As I mentioned in the video, graphics cards up to 370 millimeters or 14.5 inches in length will fit no problem, provided you have clearance with your front radiator if using a push-pull configuration. CPU coolers with a height of 170 millimeters, so those are the traditional air coolers with 170 millimeters height, will be accommodated as well without interfering with your acrylic window. and power supplies with a measurement up to 190 millimeters in length can be installed without issue. Also, according to Corsair, the 400C can support motherboards up to the E-ATX or extended ATX form factor, provided they are 12 by 10.6 inches in length, or in size rather. As well, the case supports full ATX, micro ATX, and mini ITX motherboards. In the box, I forgot to mention, you also will find your warranty information, which Corsair currently provides a 2-year warranty on the case, as well as your accessories kit, which includes your screws, nuts, and some zip ties, that kind of thing. Actually, there's no nuts, screws, and motherboard standoffs, and those kinds of things. Alright, so with that all out of the way, I'm going to give you guys my ratings. So for the Pro side, definitely build quality is there. Corsair has hit it out of the park at this price point. There's a lot of competition in this price bracket for these cases, but I think Corsair stands out as far as value. You're getting things like a metal construction, you're getting exceptional support for drives. You get a total of 5 drives can be installed. Everything's quality, from the buttons, the I/O panel, the support for cooling, whether it be radiators or fans, the rubber feet, you know, that little height there, so you can put it on the ground. You shouldn't, but you can put it on the carpet without worrying about it suffocating. Filters are quality, so there's quality throughout. The actual product itself is solid, and I think stands up undoubtedly against any competitor as one of the better offerings, certainly at that price point and even higher. So I would not hesitate to give it a point for quality. Moving on, airflow is excellent. Like I mentioned, in that case I was running 5 to 7 degrees cooler for both the CPU using my air cooler and my liquid cooler for the CPU, and my GPU also ran 5 to 7 degrees cooler versus the NZXT NZXT S340 Elite. So there's that. Also, I feel that Corsair backs up their product with a 2-year warranty. There's good support from Corsair. If you go on their website, you can buy accessories, you can buy replacement front panels in white or black, you can buy different windows, you can buy solid panels to put on the side, etc. So good support from Corsair. Also, it's small size, doesn't take up a lot of space on your desk, but it does fit everything you could want inside of it. So full-size video cards, you can fit, again, multiple drives. You can fit, you know, pretty much 360 millimeter rads on the front of the case, which is huge. As far as custom water cooling, there's not a ton of room for that, but you could conceivably make it work if you took out your hard drive enclosure. There's plenty of room at the bottom for pump, reservoir, etc. So there is some possibilities there as well. In the negatives, I would say there's room for improvement on Corsair's behalf in terms of cable management. There's a few tie-down points, but compared to the NZXT, which I have now, S340 Elite, they could do with a channel for cables. They could do with those plastic little clips that come standard in the Elite. You know, and the grommets are, depending on your motherboard size, a little bit far back, like forward in the case, and so your cabling could look a little odd. As well, the cable access from your shroud at the bottom, the hole is too far back for most people using standard sized video cards. So your cabling kind of comes out and then you have to go over to the back of the card and plug it in. Looks a little bit not as clean as the S340 Elite, for example. Other than that, I can't really complain. I actually love the case. I think it's great. I would recommend it to anybody, and I would give it a solid 4 ducks out of 5. I've ordered some little rubber ducks. I'm still waiting on those, however, so I would give you guys a visual representation with the ducks. Hold on a moment here. So definitely I'll give it 4 out of 5 ducks. Okay, so I have to do for now. This guy times 4. I wouldn't hesitate, and I would say that it stands out to me as the best option in the mid-tower segment, even though it's a little old and tempered glass has come in. There are other similar cases being offered from Corsair at a little bit higher price point that offer tempered glass, etc. But if this is your budget and this meets your needs, then I would say don't hesitate on the Corsair 400C. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to include a bit more footage here, some pictures I took with some effects I'm working on. Feel free to terminate your viewing of this video at any time. I'm sorry it's gone so long. Again, I'm back from holidays and I wanted to put this together for a while. And having used it for over a year, I had a lot to say. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, give me a like. It lets me know you like it. And if you really like it, feel free to subscribe and check out all my other videos. To date, I believe there's 6 other ones besides this. So have a look, see what you think, and I'm going to be bringing you guys more videos soon. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.